Hello and welcome to the ONTIC Connected Intelligence Podcast. I'm Chuck Randolph, ONTIC's Chief Security Officer. Join us as we delve into valuable insights and practical advice that will empower you to navigate the complexities of modern corporate security and risk. We're here to share knowledge from experienced leaders and innovators in the field. All right, get settled and let's dive in. Leading Amazon's physical and executive security efforts, TJ Klomp's role as Vice President and Chief Physical Security Officer centers on ensuring the safety of their corporate environment, studios, and global events. With expertise in protective intelligence and emergency services, TJ has helped to fortify the security infrastructure of one of the world's most influential companies. Interestingly, TJ was the second person Amazon hired for security in 1999. Before his tenure at Amazon, TJ spent over a decade as a law enforcement officer in Washington State, where he served as a personal crimes detective, a SWAT team member, and an undercover operative on a multi-agency drug task force. TJ Klomp, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Is this your first podcast?
I believe it is, yes.
That is outstanding. And I am honored, my friend, that you chose to be on the ONTIC podcast. So this is exciting. I'll be gentle.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
TJ, I'm excited to have you on the show because, you have such an interesting trajectory into leadership, your pathway. You are what I would call a servant and a very humble leader. But for those who don't know TJ Klomp from Amazon and your origin story, if you will, since it's summer and it's movie time. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about your origin story and how you came to find yourself working in security at Amazon as the number 2 security hire there?
Absolutely. So I was in law enforcement locally here in the Seattle area for about 10 years. And I was a person crimes detective and also on our SWAT team. And I started doing some off-duty work towards the end of my law enforcement career. And it was mainly residential security for some high net worth individuals in the area. And then I also started doing some off-duty training for some contract security companies in the area. And so I started getting this bug. And it looked like to me there could be life after law enforcement with this skill set. And I really enjoyed the work. And long story short, I was providing some training at a residence here in the Seattle area. And one of the guys that attended the training left and was the first person that Amazon hired for security. And he called me up and he says, "Hey, there's this opening and they need someone. We need someone who can provide executive security for our founder and CEO, who can do investigations, who can help us with intel analysis and help out with special events." And I was like, is there anything else you guys need?
Yeah, it's called a unicorn.
Yes. And it sounded really cool. I mean, it was a lot of the things that I enjoyed doing. And so initially it sounded like a great fit. And then I came over to Amazon and went through the interview process. Much different then than it is now, but it was still very interesting. And it was enjoyable. It was fun. And I knew then I was hooked. And I hadn't been offered the job yet. And so I was kind of patiently waiting, and I got the call and started in August of 1999.
Wow, so that's about the same time I started out in the Pacific Northwest as well. So it's interesting. We have our trajectories.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot going on at that time. And Amazon, as the second person hired in security, there wasn't anything in place. There weren't any programs that were built out. People show up now and, you almost take it for granted. There's cameras in the lobby. There's key card access. Buildings are alarmed. There's all these physical security things that are in place. There are teams upon teams that do very important work now, but none of that was around then. So that was another really cool part of the job. It was the ability to build these new programs and be a part of that at a ground level.
TJ, let me ask you a question there. So first, I have 2 questions. First, what was it about the .com life, if you will, that attracted you as a law enforcement officer? I mean, what was it when you said, wow, this is cool, I'm interested? What was that factor, that, or that wow factor, or whatever it might be, that made that attractive to you?
It wasn't so much the business piece of it, the .com company. It was just the position. It just sounded like a natural fit. I knew I could help. I knew I could add value right away, or at least I felt I could. And that was exciting to me. And I knew about Amazon. It was 1999, but it was like, yeah, that's the company that sells books online. And I remember saying that to the person that recruited me over, and they were very nice about it. And they said, well, that's just what we're doing for now, but we have bigger plans. And yeah.
So my next question with that then is like, okay, you get hired and you walk in, you're number 2 of a 2-person security organization, and you realize like, man, there's a lot to do here. How do you prioritize that work effort? I have a military background. A lot of what you do is priorities of work. You walk in anywhere, what's your priorities of work, priorities and requirements? How do you sit down, understand when you walk in and kind of understand, we're a book company now, but we're scaling and we have work to do. There's a lot to build. How do you develop that work priority?
So in those days, it was just coming at you left, right, and down the center. And there were just a couple of people on board to handle a number of things. And it was basically just a triage. As you start, you're working with your internal customers, you're meeting with them, you're finding out, they're telling you, where they need help, what's going on. It was initially a lot of theft, internal theft, and we had some bomb threat issues. We had just a number of things going on. And so it was just a matter of kind of triaging those and setting up your investigation, program, setting up your intel analysis, putting these processes in place as was needed based on the customer demand. And
I like that too. Like, instead of coming in and saying, look, here's the cookie cutter, what you need.
Right.
You base the priority list on what the demand signal is coming in, because in some ways, I'll be honest. I mean, do you ever miss those days where it's coming at you right, left, and center? You're just like knocking them out of the park as they come. And every day you went home and felt like, man, we accomplished so much. And then further on you get, as you grow into the enterprise's strategy,